So you want to learn a little bit more about the Walnut Grove community in Langley, BC, because potentially you're thinking about moving here or you're just genuinely curious about learning more. Well, the good news for you is that you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to go over everything there is to know about Walnut Grove. I'll be covering absolutely everything you're going to want to know, such as its location, the real estate market, rental prices, schools, daycares, and so much more. So stay tuned, because it's coming at you right after this. What's going on, guys? Alex Dunbar here from the Dunbar Real Estate Group and RE/MAX Treeland Realty based out of the Langley area. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Walnut Grove. If this is your first time on my channel, I make weekly real estate videos pertaining to the BC real estate market, as well as showcasing community tours across the Lower Mainland. So if that's something you're interested in seeing more of, I suggest you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you're notified whenever I put out a new video. I've been having tons of people reach out every single week that are looking to move to Walnut Grove or any of the surrounding communities here in Langley, or even surrounding cities, and I always love talking to you. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, you can find all my contact information down below. But let's not waste any more time and we'll get right into it. So a quick introduction to Walnut Grove. It's actually known as Langley's most accessible community, and in recent years it's only grown in popularity, being so family friendly. Walnut Grove is a true representation of quaint suburban living. The community is known for its fantastic parks as well as its top tier schools. It's a place that when people decide to move here, they do it for the long run. They may upgrade their homes over time, but typically they stick around the neighborhood. In regards to location, Walnut Grove is located in Northwest Langley and resides within the township of Langley. It's bordered by Willoughby and the Trans-Canada Highway to the south, Fort Langley to the west, Port Kells to the east, and the Fraser River to the north. In regards to driving time, it takes about 15 minutes to get to Costco in Langley, 45 minutes to get downtown Vancouver, 30 minutes to get to Burnaby, 30 minutes to get to Abbotsford, 25 minutes to get to the Surrey SkyTrain, 50 to 60 minutes to get to the Vancouver Airport, 30 minutes to get to the US border, and 45 minutes to get to the Tsawwassen ferries. Ease of access to the Golden Ears Bridge connects this community to those north of the Fraser River, such as Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge. For commuters, there's easy access to Highway 1 through 200th Street, or the new on-ramp at 216th for anyone on the east end of town. In regards to housing, Walnut Grove has a good mix of single-family detached homes, townhomes, and condos. However, there aren't a ton of condo buildings, and the majority of the townhouse complexes are older, as well as many of them being age-restricted at either 45 plus or 55 plus. Additionally, many of them are rancher style with a primary bedroom on the main floor. The majority of this community was built in the late 80s and 90s. Lot sizes are typically under 10,000 square feet, and not a ton of homes here have basement suites. Additionally, I'll add that there are quite a few gated retirement communities, and there is also tons of street parking, so you're never going to run into trouble trying to find a spot. In regards to prices, the benchmark price for detached single family homes in Walnut Grove is just under $1.46 million. As for townhomes, it's just under $920,000, and condos it's just under $614,000. When comparing this to the benchmark prices in the rest of Langley, detached homes are at a bit of a discount, however townhomes and condos are about the same. Moving on to the rental market, it's typically not the best spot to be looking for a rental. Due to the fact that there's a lack of condos and many of the townhomes have age restrictions or rental restrictions, this limits the supply. But if you do manage to find one, it's likely to come at a premium because of that lack of supply. However, if you are looking for a detached home, you may find one, although there's not a ton that are up for rent. And if you have pets, expect to pay a premium if you're even able to find a rental that will allow them. Looking at rental prices, a one-bed condo is going to run you about $1,700 to $1,800 a month. A two-bed condo is going to run you about $2,400 to $2,600 a month, and a 3+ bed detached home is going to start at around $3,300 a month and only go up from there. If you are able to find a 1 or a 2-bed basement suite, you are going to be able to have a bit of a discount based on the apartment prices. However, I wouldn't expect anything too substantial. Moving on, let's look at the highlights of the area. Number one is that there's lots of independent shops. Being so close to the highway, Walnut Grove has attracted a ton of small businesses. Small coffee shops and independent restaurants really give Walnut Grove a small community vibe. And while you will be able to find a couple of bigger name stores, they're few and far between. Next is the entertainment and dining. There's plenty of options to choose from to keep the family busy. From restaurants to pubs to ice arenas to the movie theater. There's going to be an option for just about everyone. Next are the great schools and parks. This is truly what Walnut Grove is known for. The schools have a great reputation being some of the best in all of Langley. And this is just one of the many reasons that makes it a great place to raise a family. As for parks, there are a ton, but we'll get to that in a minute. Next is the pride of ownership and the overall community. It's quite easy to see that the majority of owners take pride in the ownership of their home, especially in retirement communities. Even just going on a leisurely stroll, you'll see how much work, time, and effort are put into the beautiful gardens. And the more time you spend there, the more apparent it becomes. And overall, the community just has a great vibe. It's difficult to explain, but the more time you spend there, the more nice people you run into, and you just get a great feeling. And lastly, Walnut Grove is sports friendly. There are tons of sports fields and facilities across the community. Langley Sportsplex is definitely one of the standouts with 4 arenas, a playground, and a daycare. But you've also got a skate park, ice arena, basketball courts, baseball diamonds, running tracks, golf courses, and the list goes on and on. Next, let's talk about the parks and outdoor spaces. If you're looking to live in an area bursting with nature, Walnut Grove is your place. Populated with a dense variety of parks, you and your loved ones can go for a stroll anytime. From places like the Walnut Grove Community Park and Forest Hills Park, your kids can kick a ball around, climb the jungle gyms, or settle down for a midday picnic. Walnut Grove is also a very pet-friendly area, and because of this, both your kids and your furry friends can enjoy all the community has to offer. And next, I'd quickly like to touch on the golf courses, which you may not care about, but being a golfer myself, I have to throw it in here. And there's only one course that I'm gonna mention, and that's Redwoods Golf Course. And technically, it is actually in Fort Langley. However, Walnut Grove runs directly along its border, so we're gonna keep it in here. And in my opinion, this is one of the, if not the best courses in Langley. It's got a full 18-hole course as well as a driving range. It's also a great venue for weddings or private events. Now, unfortunately, due to the Trans Mountain expansion project, tee times are currently unavailable until 2023. So depending on when you see this video, you may have to wait. Next, let's talk about the schools. As I already previously mentioned, Walnut Grove has some of the best schools in all of Langley. There are 7 schools in Walnut Grove, including Walnut Grove Secondary, 𝐁𝐨𝐸 𝐀 Elementary, and Alex Hope Elementary. Next, let's move on to daycares. There are plenty of daycares all across Walnut Grove. And if you're unable to find one here, there are a ton more just 5 to 10 minutes away in Willoughby or Langley City. Additionally, I always suggest to people that you should inquire ASAP if you are thinking about moving to the community, because many of these daycares have wait lists of over 1 year. So if you do have young children, it's something I would suggest getting on sooner rather than later. Moving on, let's take a look at the amenities, stores, and restaurants. Some of the amenities I'd like to highlight are the Walnut Grove Community Center, which has everything from an Olympic-sized swimming pool, sauna and steam room, and full-fledged fitness facility. You can even find room rentals to book your next event. We also have the Langley Sportsplex, which I already touched on, home to 4 arenas and more. We've then got Colossus Langley Movie Theaters, which is the largest theater in Canada west of Toronto. And they've got 19 screens here, including an IMAX screen. And lastly, we've got the Extreme Air Park, which is always a hit with the kids. In regards to grocery stores, you've pretty much got all your staples. You've got Save On Foods, IGA, and Kin's Farm Market. And this should keep you stocked up for the majority of the week outside of your trips to Costco. Moving on to restaurants, I want to name a couple of my favorites. Number 1 being the Italian Osteria and Cheese Bar. Here you're going to find the most amazing, authentic Italian cuisine. They've also got great pasta, cheese plates, wine, and cocktails. It's definitely a bit of a higher end restaurant, so it's a great place to go on a date. Next, we've got the Oakenthorne Neighborhood and Public House. They've got lots of great food and craft beer here. It's definitely a more relaxed vibe and somewhere that's great to grab lunch. They've also got a cool games room downstairs that you can check out. And overall, it's one of the largest pubs in all of Langley. And if you're looking for some nightlife action, this is definitely the spot. But if you're trying to avoid the nightlife scene, I'd stay clear of here during the evenings on the weekend. And lastly, we've got the Barley Merchant. This is a tap room that serves Langley's largest collection of BC craft beer and great food. They have over 50 beers and ciders, all local to BC. And one of the only places I've ever seen that has this amount of choice and allows you to get a flight with whatever you want. And as a craft beer lover myself, this is hard to find. And one last honorable mention that I want to point out is Smuggler's Trail Brewery. If you're looking for that Friday night pint, you definitely want to stop by this award-winning restaurant and brewery. My quick tip here is that if you try to get into the Barley Merchant and they've got a wait list, head over to Smuggler's Trail and you're likely going to get in. Next, let's look at the walkability. Unfortunately, the walkability in Walnut Grove isn't great. With a walk score of 9, it's pretty much car dependent. That is, unless you live close to the 200th Street interchange, however, you're still likely going to want a car. The good news is everything's about a 5-minute drive away, however, it's just a little bit too far to carry your groceries. In regards to bike score, it has a score of 62, so it's considered quite bikeable. Overall, Walnut Grove is fairly flat with tons of bike lanes. Moving on, let's take a look at transit. Walnut Grove is typically seen as a commuter community. However, residents bemoan the fact that there's not much transit service. So overall, there is minimal transit, however, it is still possible to get a bus. In regards to taxis and ride shares, the service is pretty good here. And for the most part, it shouldn't be too difficult to catch a ride. In regards to a SkyTrain or subway, there isn't one in Walnut Grove. And as previously mentioned, you're about 25 minutes from the nearest one. However, there is a SkyTrain extension that is being extended into Langley City and is projected to be there by the year 2028. So while we're not quite there yet, there should be a better transit system put in place in the future. Moving on, who is Walnut Grove the best fit for? First of all, it's going to be your commuters. This is because there's easy access to Highway 1, meaning you can go either direction, either to Vancouver or out to Abbotsford or Chilliwack. If you commute to Vancouver daily, it's going to shave hours off your weekly travel time. Additionally, being so close to the Golden Ears Bridge makes it easy to access Pitt Meadows, Maple Ridge, Mission, and the Tri-Cities. Next, it's great for young families. The schools, parks, and community vibe are why so many families choose to call Walnut Grove home. It's a safe community, the neighbors are friendly, and everyone takes care of one another. In the evenings, it's not uncommon to see many people out for a walk, and everyone's gonna say hello when they walk by. It's a little bit quieter and secluded than some of the other more busy parts of Langley, however, they're still easy to access. And lastly, it's great for retirees and seniors. As previously mentioned, there's a ton of retirement communities and age-restricted rancher-style townhomes. Walnut Grove is a great place to downsize and say goodbye to those pesky stairs. 88th Avenue specifically is lined with a ton of 55+ complexes that are very well maintained. And there's even a few more recently built complexes, however, they're gonna come with a bit of a price. Now, before I finish this video, I wanna go over a few things that you might not like. First of all, that the 200th Street interchange and 208th overpass can get extremely bogged down with traffic during rush hour. And unfortunately, these are pretty much the only ways to get from one side of Langley to the other. Additionally, during the winter time, the drive to Costco can be almost 3 times as long. And this is why it's such a good idea to get your shopping done early. And lastly, because Walnut Grove is such a sought after area, the prices can come at a bit of a premium. But anyone that currently lives there will tell you it's definitely worth the extra investment. And that's about gonna do it for today. So if you did get any sort of value out of this video, all I ask is that you hit that thumbs up button. And if you are interested in seeing more videos just like this one, I suggest you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you're notified whenever I come out with a new video. And if you are considering making the move to Walnut Grove, but you want to learn a little bit more and have a more personalized conversation based on your unique situation, you can scroll down and book a call with me at your earliest convenience. And before you take off, I suggest you head over to my channel and check out some of the other community tours I've done across Langley and the Lower Mainland. But aside from that, thank you once again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.